Take off your shirt.
Why?
Please, will you take off your shirt? Seriously? It's like you're photoshopped.
Seeing an actor getting lean and muscular for a movie role is often our first inspiration to get in shape. We see their physiques and say, that's how I want to look. Well, you can do it. What you probably don't know is how. Your current physique probably falls under one of 5 categories: fat with little muscle mass, fat but muscled, average, skinny fat, or skinny. Depending on where you are now, you'll need to take different steps to get to your goal. If you have a high body fat percentage, your first move will obviously be to cut. If you start from a very skinny physique, your first move will obviously be to gain muscle and weight. Each person needs to take different steps. In this video, we'll address one of the scenarios: how to go from a skinny fat physique to a muscular physique that is also lean. Let's get started. The skinny fat physique is a term I use to describe a body that looks skinny with a shirt on and fat with the shirt off. Although skinny fat people have a low to moderate body fat percentage, they still look soft and out of shape because they have very little muscle mass. They tend to accumulate fat easily around the waist, but very little on their legs and arms. Also, they usually have a hip-dominant bone structure, relatively narrow shoulders and rib cage, and wider waist and hips. Many people starting from this point are discouraged, because they think their genetics works against them and they can never have the proportions to look great. That's not true. Look at Ryan Gosling as an example. He clearly has a wide waist and hips due to his bone structure and the tendency to store fat on his belly. But that didn't stop him from building a great physique and being considered one of the most attractive men alive. Another great example is Omar Isuf. He is now one of the most popular and respected fitness YouTubers, but he started from a skinny fat physique. So while you may have what would be considered bad genetics, you can definitely build a very attractive and strong physique. Once you develop your shoulders, arms, back and chest and get your waist smaller, you will look like a Hollywood actor. Let's be precise and talk numbers. What you have to do is reach certain standards of relative strength in a few key exercises. Muscle size corresponds well with relative strength in a medium rep range. So to reach a certain muscle size, what you must do is reach the strength level that corresponds to that size. This way your goal is very clear and measurable. To look like Ryan Gosling in that movie, all you have to do is reach those relative strength standards. How do you do that? You lift weights and pay attention to your nutrition. Let's talk about each of them. To build muscle and strength, you must train with an effective program. I assume you are now a complete beginner, so in that case, the routine I recommend you follow in the first 3 months is this. Pause the video to study it. And here are the notes for it so you know how to progress. Gaining muscle and strength has a simple rule. To make the fastest progress possible, you need to match the amount of training you do with your recovery capacity. In the beginning, your muscles grow very fast in response to lifting weights, but their recovery capacity is very low. Because of this, in the first few months, it's best to train each muscle group frequently, but doing only a handful of sets each time. With this routine, you train each muscle group twice a week. By doing that, you take advantage of the fact that your muscles adapt rapidly and you'll be stronger every time you hit the gym. However, each session you only do a small amount of sets to match your work capacity. After a few months, things change. You will adapt and be able to handle more training. So to keep making rapid progress, we increase volume a little bit. You upgrade to this intermediate routine. This routine is designed to bring up the muscle groups that contribute the most to great proportions: your shoulders, upper chest, back and arms. Your legs get a bit less volume than they can handle, but that's because we don't want them to grow faster than your upper body. With these routines, you can expect to gain 0.5 to 1.5 pounds of muscle per month for the first 2 years. To get a physique like Gosling, I'd say you need about 2 years of lifting. Now, what about nutrition? That's what we'll talk about next. Here we have a dilemma. People starting from the skinny fat physique are often equally unhappy with how skinny they are and how fat they are. So they can't decide which one to pursue first. If they lose fat first, they end up being way too skinny, looking unhealthy. If they bulk first, they may end up with more belly fat, which they hate. I think the best choice depends on your individual situation. If you're mostly skinny but have some fat on your belly, I think you should definitely start gaining weight. Don't worry about getting a six-pack right now. Your overall muscle mass is not developed enough to show even through a small layer of body fat. What you must do is eat a slight surplus of calories, gain weight every month, and get stronger in the gym, even if that means gaining fat as well. Because then, if you maintain muscle and lose fat, you will get your muscles to show. In the description, you'll find a link to a macro calculator. Click on it. Once you're on this screen, input your current body weight and select Lean Bulk. At the bottom of the page, you'll see the calories and macros you need to eat every day. Now, on the other hand, if you're fatter than skinny, it would be best to lose some fat first and only then focus on building muscle and gaining size. The reason for that is simple. If you bulk now, you would get very fat in a few months and you would hate it. By doing a short cutting phase first, you can then lean bulk for half a year, while keeping your body fat relatively low. Again, in the description, click the link to the calculator. In the calculator, input your body weight and select Normal Cut. At the bottom of the page, you'll see the calories and macros you need to eat every day. Now you may think, how do you count calories and macros? It's quite simple. You weigh each food you intend to eat with a food scale. Then you input that quantity in the app called MyNet Diary. Your goal is to consistently hit your protein and calorie intake. Alright, now let's put everything together in transformation steps. Number 1, start lifting with the beginner routine and follow it for 3 months. Number 2, eat the right amount of calories for you during that time. If you're skinny with less fat, eat a surplus of calories. If you're fatter, cut for 4 to 7 weeks until your belly is flat. At that point, start lean bulking. Number 3, after about 3 months on the beginner routine, start the intermediate routine. Always focus on getting stronger in the gym and track your strength progress with a notebook or app. Number 4, lean bulk slowly over 6 to 8 months until your body fat level gets around 15 to 16% body fat. At that point, switch to cutting until you get back to the 10 to 12% range. Then, lean bulk again until you reach 15 to 16% body fat. During each lean bulk, you should be gaining 5 to 8 pounds of muscle, while keeping your body fat relatively low. And number 6, repeat this process for 1 to 2 years until you're happy with your muscle development. After the first, I'd say 6 to 8 months, at the end of your cutting phase, you should be seeing your abs for the first time. Hey, it's Radu again. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see exactly what to eat, how to set up your meals, how to go over strength plateaus, how to do cardio and so on, I recommend 2 complete programs. For fat loss, the Shred Smart program, and for lean bulking, the Greek God program. Click on the one that fits your needs. It will definitely help you get to your goal physique faster. For more videos like this one, make sure that you subscribe.